Do you know about this? You don't know
I
about
did.
this?
I thought it was a gang sign.
No, it's a it like is a classic like frat boy energy. It's a way to dance without dancing, right? It's just like
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
but
that reminds me of what I did this weekend and my questions for you.
you danced without dancing?
Well, the sad part is no, well, kinda, like a little bit of head banging and body bobbing is technically what I
Oh,
did.
yeah,
Yeah,
your mosh pit adjacent experience?
correct. Yeah, so we went to see Chevelle live, and I was
Yeah.
actually a little apprehensive because I don't really know their catalog the way that Yuhan does.
Yeah, when were they formed? It gotta be like
They're
2004.
actually a really good study of, like, actually creative artists who,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
are
yeah.
extremely consistent because 'cause they've been around for, like, decades, and they release an album, like, consistently every year and a half.
Dude, that's
Um,
nuts. That
yeah.
what longevity. And then what's up, chat? Thanks for hanging out and coming in. We are
Hello.
back after a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah. Well, YouTube says a month because it rounds it down, so
Oh,
it didn't feel as bad.
oh, because they got to reduce their wasted metrics or their like goose their retention metrics.
Correct, and you gotta make it look like the creators are very active, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, now I'm googling when Chevelle was formed because I want to know.
Well, don't get distracted by my story.
Okay,
So,
sorry, I'm listening.
there were multiple mistakes made because as an elderly millennial, I did not realize I had booked standing seats, which is
Huge
no,
mistake.
it was a huge mistake. Yeah, and so I was like already like, oh no, dreading it. I had taken a nap before. I was like googling, I was like, am I allowed to bring my own chairs? It was the whole thing. But then we managed to go in,
Yep.
and we were like one ring outside of the mosh pit area.
Okay.
Like there was like we probably could have squeezed in to way to the front, but because I'm so short, I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta be like one level slightly above because the
Yeah.
view is actually better for me.
On like a riser, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But that meant I can look down into the mosh pit area.
And so you just like autistically studied everybody?
Correct. I did. Especially when they're setting up, between the opener
Right.
and Chevelle. I was like, well, there's nothing to do but to study people. Um,
Classic Kristen doing an anthropology project at a concert.
Correct. And that's where I was like, oh, I wish Cameron was here because I needed someone to explain to me what is actually happening during a mosh pit because it seemed like people were not consenting. Like when they was starting to
Okay.
form, the people on the edges and they were getting
Sure.
mad.
Yeah,
But then
sometimes you
there's
get
some people who
stuck.
are like, yay, and then they start joining in
Yeah.
and they all start shoving each other. And I was like,
Yeah.
is this the game? The game is like shoving each other and
Well,
and is this dancing? Like what's happening?
yeah, I would say dancing is an okay comparison.
Mhm.
Push, Tori, thanks for dropping in. Pearl as well. Good to see y'all again. I did take a shower for anybody that is trying to imagine before this. I'm not smelly, and your smell-o-vision will keep you safe. I think I probably smell pretty good right now. Yeah, I use deodorant. What were we
What
talking
scent
about? Mosh
deodorant
pit?
are you using?
What brand?
Or what scent?
Well, so I found out that I might be using lesbian deodorant. I have
Oh, I didn't know there was such a thing.
well, so I mean I just got a TikTok like an hour ago, which
Mhm.
felt a little personal, and it was basically a dude saying that he used Old Spice Fiji and had
Mhm.
been told by multiple, I'm assuming by partners, that he tasted like a lesbian. There's deodorant did, and so I was like, what is
Oh,
happening here? Um,
TIL.
yeah,
I did
today I
not
learned as
know.
well. The but so smelling fresh, hopefully. The
Mm. So have you ever been in a mosh pit yourself?
oh yeah, I mean I say oh
Oh.
yeah, I haven't been. I would go to shows more or less every weekend or like
Mhm.
every few weekends when I was in high school because I worked. Like I worked Fridays and Saturdays too. So like if I was working, obviously I couldn't go.
Mhm.
Um, and I would say that like at bigger shows, like when we go into Atlanta, and geez, like I'm not the expert here. This is like 15 years out of date. Um,
It's
That's
okay because
crazy,
everyone else there, by the way, were also elderly millennials. So
right?
imagine people who look like they're pretty much in their late 30s and 40s and 50s, stressed
You're
kind of
saying a
like you.
crowd of like chopped, cooked, like
Yeah,
over the
everyone
hill,
was a
dying,
little
take them out to
decrepit.
pasture. Yeah. No, I mean, like, I would say Mosh was kind of formed. This is a little bit of a hot take, but I
Mhm.
think there are moments of consent that are explicit yes, no, and then there is implied consent by how you exist.
Mhm.
Going to the place where mosh pits typically form at a hardcore show feels pretty close to consent.
Right, right. I was thinking that. I was like, "Oh, thank goodness I knew not to stand there."
Yeah, I mean, like that doesn't mean, you're wearing it, you deserve it, like, but
Mhm.
it does mean, if you go to a bad part of town in the middle of the night and you flash a gold watch, like, yeah, you might get mugged. That doesn't mean you deserve to get mugged, but it makes sense.
Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't all dudes though. It was like I would say there's like maybe 2 or 3 ladies
Yeah.
who looked like they were enjoying it, but they
Yeah.
look ready. They had like the boots and they were ready to shove, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But like I would say it's kind of like a consensual roughhousing more than
Mhm.
like dancing. It's like I don't know if this is
Is
your
it
cultural
releasing of the masculine energy?
I mean, I don't know. Releasing is the word that I have trouble agreeing with. I think I might more think of it as like channeling of it, right?
Oh.
Um I don't know. 'Cause I feel like releasing is a little over sexualizing it.
Oh,
But I don't
whoops. As usual.
yeah. How's
Okay,
everybody doing
okay.
in the
Well,
chat?
they were having
Drop
fun.
drop life updates in the chat, by the way, because we haven't heard from y'all in a while. Oh, Tori, I don't think they were really eating the deodorant. I think they were, you know, in there were events unfolding in their house, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Um, we can say sex. This is the internet. They were probably having sex. Um,
What?
Chris,
I spaced out like 1 second there.
that's okay. We know that you're probably not having sex, so it's not a big deal.
Oh,
The
okay. We're
the
really not advertising this show right now. This is
no, we're
a
just.
sexless show.
I mean, I think if for anybody that's new, this is a show by incels for incels. That's who we care about. That's who we're trying to reach. Anybody that feels estranged and hates the way the world is going because the liberals took over. That's our audience.
Slash S. Oh, man.
Man, watched a couple of deliveries, dude. That's crazy. And oh man, I wanted to do it, but I have an order that I want to go in.
Oh.
Kristen, do you want to we've already been yapping for 8 minutes.
Oh,
Can you
whoops.
believe it?
No.
We're cooking. I mean, I think it's because I was raring to get back to hanging out just because we haven't in a while.
Mhm.
The Jeff, I'm unsurprised that you're the ops in our chat.
But however, there's a part of me that is not sure. But it's also like, well, yeah, but would anyone impersonate Jeff Goldberg?
Oh,
Like,
don't. I just said I put on deodorant and I'm already
oh my
lying.
gosh. Well,
All right. I'm glad there.
it's only a deodorant and not an antiperspirant,
No, it's
right?
an antiperspirant,
Oh,
Kristen.
well,
I
then
know. I
that's
know my
not
body.
working. This is not a product endorsement.
No, I mean I'm just too powerful. You can't control this. You can't control this body liquid.
All right, all right, all
Yikes.
right.
We're off the rails, especially for what we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so
Should we make a pivot?
yeah, hard pivot.
Yeah.
Buckle up, folks. We're about to not have a great time. I mean, you might have a great time.
It's a great time in terms of like,
It's cathartic time.
yeah, and viewing of the human experience.
Yeah. I mean, Megan, thanks for dropping in. Y'all, I've had a rough few months. Kristen's had a lot of stuff going on too. Yeah, Tori's clocking that you didn't start your lava
It
lamp in
takes the
time.
entire show for this thing to actually get going. So
The
if you're bored of the conversation, you can at least catch
Yeah,
up
just
on the
watch the
lava
lava
lamp.
lamp. Um, oh man. So basically, the reason why the show went on hiatus was so in May, June, I shut down my startup hard, but was a nice way to transition into a period where I had hoped to be able to get some rest because I had some other stuff that was coming down the pipeline that I knew would be a big hurdle.
Mhm.
But as life often does, it threw me a pretty hard curveball in July when my baby brother killed himself. It's really sad, and I don't know how to break the news other than directly like that. Obviously, they didn't share with the internet immediately, but long story short, had physical disability problems, was in the middle of a divorce, had a lot of mental health struggles for a long time that manifested in a ton of different ways. And I appreciate that, and I'm really not trying to darken y'all's day. Obviously it's not better, but yeah. And so I ended up being the main, like I just had to handle all the shit for my family. And so, I flew out to Denver, kind of dealt with the process of like he was in the middle of divorcing his wife, a lot of mental health struggles to go around every like with all parties there. It was just a really bad time. Yeah. And so I needed to take some time to focus on that. And I did. It's all worked out the best that it can. Family's doing okay now. All of the, not all, but most of the logistics are done. Which, if you've never had someone close to you pass away, the logistics about death stuff suck. Like it's not, none of it is as easy as you want it to be, and none of it, especially if you're like someone who likes to move fast, there's a lot of other people that you have to wait on, whether it's like police or funeral homes or, legal documents and banks. There's just so much slowness when all you want to do is get it over with as fast as possible. And so that was a rough July into the other hard but much better thing, which is that about a month ago I had a baby. And so July into August was rough, dude. It was a time. And so yeah, 4 weeks ago or so, had our first baby, a son. I'm not really gonna. It's really hard to be on the internet and want to talk about the things in your life while respecting the privacy of people that can't advocate for themselves. And Tori, yes, you read the theme of the episode pretty well. I have been experiencing whiplash pretty much hourly for the past few months. And so, but I'm glad to be back. And I'm glad to finally be able to riff about parenthood, because I think I got some bangers lined up for that too. And so, that's my quick update. There's been some really other good stuff that's happened. There's some really shitty stuff that's happened, but I don't think anything that really warrants any more kind of dwelling on it, other than kind of like the normal riffing that's going to naturally come up that we do, Kristen. What have you been up to?
Oh,
And thanks everybody for the congrats. Baby's doing
yeah.
great, healthy, mom's healthy, and so
Mhm.
he eats like a horse. So that's kind of a nightmare because he just keeps eating, which is good, but exhausting and expensive, frankly. But Kristen, so what you been up to?
Yeah, yeah, and then I was like, "Did you name your kid something weird?" I remember I'm overly concerned
Yeah.
about the name. The baby has a beautiful name, so no tragedies
I mean, I'm
involved
I'm
here.
gonna accidentally say it. His name is Theodore, but we call him Teddy.
Mhm. A very respectable name.
Yeah. Nothing related to his family. The
Mhm.
I mean, I guess fuck it, I'll say the middle name too. So his middle name is named after my grandfather who passed away about a year and a half ago, and is a real Southern name. It's Delma, and so Delma, and so Theodore Delma, and then yeah, that. Sorry, I interrupted you. I was just reading the chat.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I was adding on to the chat as well. I like how everyone's like eats like a horse. I don't think I've ever heard of a baby described as eating like a horse before. So
Dude,
that's new to me.
just
Yeah. Oh man. I feel like I don't remember very much of the past month and a half either. To be honest, when your life, this is like, me being codependent, but when your life goes in chaos, mine does too, because I'm so used to
oh
like
no,
checking in with you every single week to be like, I'm
yeah.
doing this, that I feel like I also fell off the wagon in like a side sort of way, which is totally my responsibility. Don't feel like it's your obligation to keep your life together for
No,
sure.
but you're also not giving yourself enough credit. Like you've
Mhm.
been on the go for like 8 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's true, that's true.
Like
Well,
you
yes, if
literally
you
climbed
minus
an
the
ice
week I was super
waterfall.
sick, because of my frolicking in Iceland and the UK, that takes
Yeah.
up, like, quite a bit of chunk of time that I forgot and
Yeah,
planning
Kristen
for
was
that.
having like a really sick trip while I was like crying at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. Yeah, so that was something. Yeah, and I feel like I've been trying to build reframe, and actually I've also been like talking to my friends back in the biotech and pharmaceutical industry, because the funny thing is that because I've been really reading research again to share it on Farcaster with friends, like I feel like motivated to check out. It's like, oh, are there companies that would like to hire me to help them out with the scientific storytelling, with the medical communication stuff? So I've been talking to my old friends to be like, hey, if you know any roles that are coming up, let me know. So I've been
So
doing this.
do
Mhm.
you experience any cultural whiplash when you're talking to the
Oh, heck
squares
yeah.
again?
You're right. That's what makes me feel weird.
Say more.
Oh, yeah. I think like well, the friends I've talked to so far are mixed. Like some of them are like freelancing and stuff, and then some of them are in like full-time jobs.
Okay.
But they've been doing it for a while, right? And luckily these are because I'm slowly wading my feet in. Like
Yeah.
I'm reaching out to friends who know me well enough where they know what I've been up to on the
Mm,
internet, and
yeah.
if I say that, oh, I'm looking for a job, they like, this is where I feel like so touched by friends. Like no one would question me like, oh, why are you doing that? Like, because I always feel this like self-consciousness, right? Which a lot of entrepreneurs feel as well. It's like when you're switching between like doing your own thing and then like
Mhm.
working for employer, there's this like feeling of, oh, like the why aren't you trying more? Or like, do are you giving up? That kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where I feel really touched my friends who like know me, who I just like, oh, okay, how can I help? They immediately switch into a helpful mode. So that's been really nice. So which helps with the whiplash. But
Yeah.
I think like the whole is it even a whiplash thing is all in my mindset and beliefs, right? Like
So
like do
that's what
I
I wanted to
believe?
ask.
Huh?
That's what I wanted to ask. Like
Yeah. I
having
don't
like
act.
doing founder solo entrepreneur
Mhm.
things for a while
Mhm.
is that's the weird thing.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm not trying to take away from the niceness or the
Mhm.
quality or like the care that your friends have for you,
Mhm.
but like saying, "Hey, I'm trying to get a normal job,"
Mhm.
is extremely normal. And so I don't know, I do like cuz I feel the exact same thing you do, which is,
Mhm.
I got to make money, I got to take care of, a baby and a family. And so like I'm considering doing some more W2 like traditional W2 work as well.
Mhm.
Um and the feeling of like, oh, going back to this, nobody else feels it because everybody thinks you're weird for doing the solo thing. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so I don't know. That's encouraging that's me trying to hype myself up for this process.
Yeah. And in talking to my friends, it's sort of like, how about this? It's not so easy actually right now for someone who's been in a traditional W-2 job to find even lateral moves right now because of the
Yeah.
economy, right? So they said that, well, like in a way, like you have a weird little advantage for now because if you can frame up all the stuff that you're doing and then add the AI stuff into your work history, then you
Right.
can
You're
be
a
hired on as someone
go-getter. Yeah.
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
and inject new energy into a company, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I don't know.
Yeah. So, well, it's like kinda like, well, no matter what, I gotta work with what I got, so
Yeah. I wonder, well, also, Ghost, good morning. Thanks for dropping
Mhm.
by. And Tori, what are your 4 jobs? Is like, and are you including caring for people? Because I know you do that as well, like in a real capacity.
Is this including the typewriter repair for
Oh,
which you're an expert? I wonder.
oh, does anybody know any? Well, actually, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out because I got all my brother's crap, and so
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing was that not only did he pass away, like, he also left you a lot of homework, like, that is, like, way more than the average person.
I mean, he,
Because I like to imagine that, like, I feel like you are a fantastic writer, and then, like, you've been so kind to share with me some of his writing, and I'm like, "Dang, this guy can write."
yeah,
He have so much writing left for you to look at.
yeah. I mean,
What?
to frame this, like Mark and I were very similar.
Mhm,
We're both writers. We're both weird internet kids. He took a very different path than me. He was a public school, like he went to grad school for political science, then became a public school teacher
mhm,
in various dirt poor places in the U.S. because he just liked helping people, and like he was also a little bit of a hoarder, not like not having stacks of stuff, but he just had a bunch of esoterica. You know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm,
Like given enough time, like I think he was the kind of dude that I thought would have been perfect as like a grandpa.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Like he always had like weird knickknacks and anecdotes and like, his anyway, he just had a bunch of crap. He had some guns I had to figure out. He had like cans of ammo. He had machetes and gas because like, just random war stuff. Uh, just because he's a weird guy, real big Cormac McCarthy fan,
Mhm.
Southwest. He lived in Texas and then Colorado.
Yeah,
Um,
because he
but
also went to military school.
yeah, he went to VMI with me. He was 2 years behind me. My classmates kind of trained him, and so I was really fortunate because not a lot of siblings get the chance to kind of hang out with their siblings in a formal setting after growing up together. And so we overlapped for a couple years at VMI, and so I got to see him, every couple days or so. And all of my friends made his life really hard because they recognized him as my little brother during all the training stuff. And so,
Did he get
um,
extra hazing because of
oh, oh, brother, man,
pork?
he had a rough go of it, which is tough with the muscular dystrophy, which we didn't know about at the time. So,
Mhm.
dude, does nuts. Well, I'll say
Extra
that
tough.
more. But basically, what you're pointing out is my brother left me a bunch of physical crap to deal with, but he
Mhm.
also left me terabytes of work and stuff to go through that is basically, I got to do a lot of reading. There's like 2 almost finished like novels, like works of fiction in there that I got to figure out what to do with. And as I'm trying to build my own writing, I
Mhm.
don't know, career, uh, you know, it's going to be a lifelong project, frankly, which is nice in a way, but also just a lot to do this year. A lot happened in the past few months for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, like, so I love your new, poetry website. Is it littlefeelings.com? Am I
Yeah,
remembering it well?
littlefeelings.com.
Mhm.
I got that going. Subscribe to the newsletter for it if you have not already, because updates are going out probably every 2 weeks at this point.
Mhm.
Usually between like 5 and 15 new poems every few weeks, and then working on some like physical products related to it as well, like a little book collection, which I'm excited to get to, and I can figure out how to do. I don't know, man. My life is hella out of balance right now, but that's the nature of the beast. Okay,
Mhm.
baby. Yes, I am emotionally concussed, and that is, You nailed it.
Yeah. Because like you also have an Instagram and TikTok, right?
Kristen's helping me plug while I'm scatterbrained. So in the in the newsletter that's going to come out this week, it'll have a link to all of the socials. But if you
Mhm.
look for Little Feelings Poetry on any platform, TikTok,
Oh.
Instagram, I
Mhm.
have a Twitter. Like I haven't figured out the posting format. If I'm being honest, Kristen, we'll probably talk about this more in the future. I ran an experiment, or I'm in the process of running an experiment of how to best share these on socials, and like the automated schedulers aren't it, I don't think.
Oh, is that how you've been doing it? I like the
Yeah,
little animations that you put on the Instagram ones.
yeah. So I've created like some, what's it called, carousels.
Mhm.
But the problem is these platforms don't expose the music to
Mhm.
the third party APIs.
Mhm.
And so you can only auto post substandard content from what people are expecting with like a screenshot of a poem because they want some atmospheric music to it or whatever. That's what people
Oh, they
engage with
don't
more.
do that by API? What? Oh, that's
Yeah.
how they trap you.
Yeah. And so I have to like, I had a theory. I'm in the process of testing it. Early
Mhm.
results indicate I'm going to need to kind of change up what I was going to do with it because I really just wanted to schedule 1,000 posts and not think about it.
Well, I wonder what is where the browser agent stuff comes in.
Yeah, the problem is like the Tori, the lava lamp is making moves.
Slowly.
The
It's got a little
Yeah,
thumbs up going on.
yeah. The problem is like if you really want to make something that
Mhm.
is roughly on trend, you have to be actively engaged with it. And so I think I'm gonna because like you know you hear like an ambient sound that's trending, you can't
Mhm.
pre-schedule that because it wasn't a trend 6 months ago.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna figure out a workflow for it. I think it basically involves a lot of pre-positioning of content in like iCloud or something. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Uh,
you've been doing really well with that. And so the reason why you even bring up the poems because I feel like, well, like if you really wanted to know the depths of Cameron's emotions, please read his poems and realize that they are all like real reflections of what's going on. So,
yeah, there's like thank you for saying that. The only good part about all this is like I got a lot of freaking emotional material to work with. Um, Yeah, and
mhm,
so I separate my poems into I think 7 collections now.
mhm,
I'm just kind of like pre-building what I imagine I'll release as like a book or like a full collection for each into the future, or based around different themes. And so I have a like my one of my new my second newest collection is called Marked. My brother's name was Mark, and so
mhm.
that's anything tagged with that is like directly related to that. If you're curious.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Sorry, coughing fit. Yeah. Well, I can't wait to purchase merchandise with your poetry on it because I'm basic. Oh yeah, that was the other thing, right? Because you were like, a book, and I was like, come on, pop up fridge magnets, and other ways in which the average person actually consumes poetry.
That's interesting. Like we talked about I think a fridge magnet thing before.
Hmm.
The hard part is like it's obviously top of funnel, right? Because it's a little bit cart before the horse of like having a bunch of things to buy.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I just want to get a lot of the work out there. It's very much I kind of I've looked at some poetry's not kind of it's not a fast ecosystem. Like people that eventually make a name for themselves in like the poetry space or whatever do it over a lifetime.
Hmm.
And so really the littlefeelings.com stuff is about setting a baseline so that I can lean into the practice of writing poems for me in a way
Hmm.
that like the hard part about doing anything creative is rarely the thing itself, although sometimes that's very hard. It's doing it in such a way that it's like sustainable and repeatable and all of the other stuff that you hate about it, which is mostly getting in front of other people and trying
Mhm.
to make a living from it.
Mhm.
Most creative people hate the distribution aspect. And so they don't do it. And so they end up with a mountain of work that they never publish, or at least publish in a way that people can see. And
Mhm.
so Little Feelings is my attempt to put that on rails so that I can just like create and there's a flow for it. And then hopefully over time it accrues value and an audience and people find it a comforting place because it's always going to be up to date because everything new, it's kind of like built. If you haven't been on it before, the bottom of the screen is like a little navigation bar. And so anytime you hit next from the landing page, it'll take you to the most recent poem.
Oh,
And
I didn't know
so,
that.
yeah, so anytime you get on the site, like it
Mhm.
shows you a random poem from the collection on the lander. And then if you want to view the backlogs, it's in reverse chronological order by hitting next. And so you can, excuse me, just go down the list.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
animations
and
are fun.
so I sent your Instagram account to a friend who is a post-evangelical minister, which is a
Interesting.
thing now. Like I mean, I'll abbreviate this very very crudely, like a woke Christianity.
So
Um,
are they against proselytizing?
yes. No,
Okay.
now, yeah, now they're taking a much more like politically active, like open stance from a previously much more evangelical stance.
So they're an anti-mimetic pastor.
Yes, in a way.
Okay, okay.
And she's writing publishing a prayer book. That which I okay, this is what I thought. Like I thought like your poems are in a way atheist prayers, which is of course a very religious view of it. But then like
Interesting.
there was this like I don't know, like I was like synergy, what a corporate word, but there was a lot of resonance at least between like what I think she's posting and what you're posting, and she followed your stuff and she found
Oh,
your stuff
thank
interesting. So I
thank you
feel
for
like okay,
sharing it.
so speaking of Chevelle, I know this is a bit of a stretch.
Oh yeah, I
So
never looked
Chevelle
up when
actually
they came
got
out.
famous for like being like a Christian band in the beginning, right?
Yeah,
But
all the
actually,
emo
the
bands were Christian bands.
yeah, but actually the, singer, is, like, staunchly atheist, and he talks a lot about that now, and so
1995.
mhm, mhm.
They formed in 1995. I thought they were 2000s babies.
Yeah, yeah, no, they've been around for a long time, but the thing
Damn.
is like, a lot of people say that they actually, realize their path, like, you know, away from Christianity into a more open path, you know, of their choosing because they were allowed to listen to Chevelle because people thought it was Christian music. So
That's so funny.
yeah, so I feel like there's this thing here where I think there's a lot of people who like grew up with the Christian faith but are more atheist,
Yeah.
and which I think your poems kind of fit that. Like you still want something that is so nourishing, but you want it in a way that is different from the way you grew up. And I feel like your stuff kind of fits into that category. This is
I
just me
appreciate
doing
that.
marketing positioning permissionlessly with your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean like I don't know if I'll so I have a collection of poems called Gods Above,
Mm.
which is on those kinds of themes. So if you
Mhm.
like the idea of atheist or the pedantic person in me wants to be like they're agnostic prayers, but I hear what you're saying because they are basically a religious, or even anti-religious in some of them.
Mhm.
So atheist prayers does make sense to me, and it frankly hits harder. Agnostic is kind of like wishy-washy. The
Wow.
I mean, like it
That
is.
itself is a debate.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. The I mean, by definition, it's less conviction, though. It
Yeah, but I think
like
the problem is that atheism has such a label on it too, you know? Because it immediately makes me think of like Penn and Teller and like, you know, people who are like aggressively atheist, which
yeah,
I
like
don't
Reddit
think you are
moderator
either.
atheist,
Hmm?
like Reddit moderator atheist.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
You
you
know?
called it atheist prayers.
I know, but
So got it.
the
You
thing is
think I'm
I
militant
recall
and
you
wear a
call
fedora?
yourself that. Am I misremembering?
I don't think so. Like
Okay.
I rarely like I was an angry atheist teenager and then kind of graduated into like an agnostic worldview, an agnostic humanist worldview.
Mhm.
You know, kind of like just through living experiences and meeting a lot of people. I kind of view, I think a life well lived is an empathy
Mhm.
machine or like an
Mhm.
empathy like creator, because every touch point you have with somebody new can be viewed as a way to like practice and expand your empathy about like life experiences that aren't your own. And I think like that, I don't know, tapestry like thought process is what I try to communicate with my writing.
Mhm.
Just because like I don't know what the heck is going on. The you know, like I'm trying to figure it out too. And the like I would like there have been a lot of nights where I wish I had a lot more conviction, but I couldn't be honest with myself and maintain a conviction around like a spirituality or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, Tori, the angry internet atheists, like, dude, there were a
Well, and
lot
why
of.
specifically in 2006 they scared you? Like, what is the significance of that year?
I think that was kind of like a pivot point for the internet. That was kind of
Mm.
like the birth of YouTube, and so like it was really like the birth of internet video in terms
Mhm.
of as a medium. And so like forum culture still existed, but video started like percolating throughout there,
Mhm.
especially like animation style video, not like recorded video.
Mhm.
Um, I
Yeah,
don't know.
and I feel like atheism can mean so many things on a spectrum. It could mean you're like staunchly materialist, or it could mean that you don't believe there is an active God being in charge of things. Like there's like so many definitions.
Yeah, I mean, like I think maybe Tori disagrees, but I think the internet atheist characterization was anti-religion.
Mhm.
Like the mid 2000s, early 2010s, angry atheist energy was very much like religion is the cause of most of the world's problems historically and into the future. And if we
Mhm.
solve that, then we solve all the problems.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's probably the like that is as close to like my worldview at the time.
Mhm.
You know, I was raised Catholic. You can do with that what you will. And you know, I'd gone to enough mandatory Sunday school and life teen youth group type stuff, and I've heard enough people try to tell me like, hey, if you hear something that doesn't make sense to you, take up your shield of faith and just believe anyway. And I was like, all right, fuck this, dude. Like, like don't piss on me and tell me it's rain.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
but like,
religious institutions that you're born into and you can't easily change is very challenging.
yeah, I mean, it's, you know, definitionally indoctrination, which,
Right.
you know, is what it is. You got to learn stuff at some point.
Mhm.
And we've talked about on the show before that there's an inherent challenge with belief systems, whereby mimetic, intolerant beliefs dominate systems if
Mhm.
you let them.
Mhm.
And so if you tolerate intolerance, intolerance becomes the default because it's just going to, like in every individual interaction, it's going to win out. And so like you have to build a system that has like this one like core dissonance, which is you can't be tolerant of intolerance, which means you're not fully tolerant, which is
Mhm.
like, I don't know, it makes me twitch, but I like that's just kind of how you have to build systems if you want stuff to not devolve to the base level id, you know, view, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I can't agree more. Oh, I see my lava lamp has see it's finally woken up. Look, it's separated.
It got excited. We moved it with our emotional talk.
Mhm. So, like, now that you have experienced an actual miracle through having a child,
Oh yeah,
have your
that one
views on this changed?
of religion.
Yeah.
No,
Or oh.
I mean I think it's giving me like I've always I've always had a healthy respect for healthcare.
Mhm.
because I've been close to medical situations from my time in the military and in military school. Because, like, I've had basic medic training. I'm, what's called a combat lifesaver, and so I've, you know, done some of the basic life saving things that you need to do, and been trained on that. I've had serious medical, stuff myself that I've dealt with,
Mhm.
and so the process of pregnancy into birth is nuts. I
Mhm.
like fully understand why people would think of it as a miracle. Um, Not my personal worldview. I actually thought, I think Tori might like this, and if Gwen ever watches this, she'd like this too. Childbirth made me understand why people believed in witches.
Mm.
Like the lead up to the like birth process in general
Mhm.
is a multi-hour, sometimes multi-day rhythmic ritual.
Mhm.
And so, like my wife is just experiencing like steadily, reducing in distance contractions over time. And then at some point it just kind of like turns into this like total consciousness, like trying to breathe through pain thing. And like, I'm just fucking sitting there, right? Like,
Mhm.
and, I'm being supportive, getting ice chips, whatever, but it's not my show.
Mhm.
And so, um, and I'm
Wait,
not going to
wait.
get,
So what did you do besides getting ice chips? And oh yeah, and this is your first baby, right?
yeah, yeah, first baby, only child. And so like, what did I do? I yelled at people that were infringing on the space.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, okay, okay, babe, I was there the whole time. Um,
Did you cut the
from
cord?
start to finish. What was it? Yeah,
Did you cut
yeah, I
the
did.
cord?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And so the what did I do? Like I was there. Basically like whatever she needed, I got. I was there. She did. We got there at like 11, and then kind of like went through the day, and the I don't know. It's just like a bunch of waiting, and then she gets steadily less comfortable and then gets in pain.
Mhm.
And so just trying to be cheerful during it, you know, getting ice chips, getting food, hot chocolate, chicken broth, whatever. Because at some point they don't let you, eat,
Mm.
and which for good reason. And then when it became like the active part of it, because there's kind of like a passive part and then an active part, hand holding, moral support, let like body support because you like try different positions and stuff. I'm not gonna get too graphic here, but but yeah, so like I was as like physically and emotionally involved as I could be. I wasn't like on the phone or playing video games or whatever. Like so you see these awful, awful TikTok. Like I can't imagine not wanting to be actively engaged during that. Like
Mhm.
that blows my mind. Anybody that's doing that, I just like don't understand your perspective on the thing that you're going through.
Well, I guess it's too overwhelming for some people.
Yeah, yeah, I guess like
They can't process it and
the dissociate, flight,
Mhm.
or whatever, man. You you got a responsibility. Um and so we kind of went through, again, not going to get into too many details. Wasn't smooth sailing, but
Mhm.
ultimately the ended up working out. Didn't have to do a C-section or anything like that, so which is a big relief, because it's the most common surgery in I think the world, but also it's a major surgery with like real risks.
Mhm.
And so I think yeah, it was wild, and it was just a lot of it's pretty, it was pretty graphic, and that's just how that works.
Well, I feel like you're also used to looking at graphical things
Yeah, yeah. Like
due
I
to
definitely like I'm not
Mhm.
afraid of blood. I'm not afraid of I don't know. I hesitate to describe it as viscera, but it
Mhm.
is.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so like, obviously a lot of concern for my partner during the whole process.
Mhm.
But everything is good now. The Yeah, and Teddy, like I said, he eats a lot, and he hasn't quite figured out. It's crazy to think about. Like we've talked about being uncomfortable in your own skin, right?
Mhm,
Like
mhm,
you're doing something. There's like an ambient noise, and you're like, oh, that's like annoying. I wish that would turn off.
mhm.
When you're a new baby, everything is that noise. And also you don't know that it's a generator or an air conditioner. You just like are assaulted when for your entire existence everything's been like quiet and warm and sloshy.
Yeah.
And so dude, and so like every time I'm kind of irritated or like he does this thing where he he like basically only like every reaction is an honest reaction, right?
Mhm,
Like you learn over time to, not make a face when somebody says something you don't like or whatever. Everything that a baby does is honestly how they're feeling in that moment, which is
mhm.
really funny because anytime we go by a window and there's sunlight, it's like you just flashbanged him. And
Oh.
so he'll be like asleep and then you'll like get the slightest amount of sunlight like on his face and he'll just be like, and then like as soon as you're out of the sunbeam, it's like back to normal. So that's pretty fun. Not that I'm trying to like make my baby look at the sun. Please don't
Yeah, I was gonna
send
say
me to
it, like
jail. Um, but yeah, like it was a nutso process. Oh, the whole point of this was the ritual. So
Mhm,
like at some point during that process between like active labor and kind of like the passive, like it's just hours of rhythmic breathing where they're completely focused on kind of dealing with how their body's reacting and also the
mhm,
fact that like labor is in like an unconscious process, like your
mhm,
body is just doing it.
mhm.
um it's nuts. And so like I fully like
Sorry,
in
stand
that
by me.
hospital room at
Mhm,
2 a.m. with but basically like me and my wife and the nurse that would periodically come in.
mhm,
um I could very much imagine myself in like a medieval village
mhm.
where the women of the village have come around to like support one of their own through that process. Like
Yeah.
I could see all, like I could feel kind of like the linkage throughout history of this
Mhm,
universal experience because
mhm,
everybody has been born.
mhm.
And so yeah, Tori, like 100%. The it was like I think that's really cool, and that's actually in a way one of the reasons why I'm glad I did the military, because birth, like childbirth, like raising kids, and war are
Mhm,
kind of the three universal human experiences that have always existed in society.
mhm.
Um, and there's just something about having participated in these cultural touchstones that I find really, I don't know, like it helps me build empathy for other times and other places and other people, which I
Mhm.
really appreciate.
And then now you're I remember you were saying that the baby doesn't know how to smile yet, so it doesn't
Oh
have
yeah,
any
dude.
modes.
So, this is probably on me, but I think many men will experience this because I got no exposure to children growing up.
Mhm,
Like, I had some cousins, but I was like young or whatever when they were young too. Nobody asks you to assist in childcare unless your family is doing something out of the norm. The And so like, and then I went to military college where it was like mostly dudes. And
mhm,
so like I didn't think about any of this stuff at all. Which I don't think is a good way for society to run. But I do think it is the norm. And so I read some books, but I'll be honest, like I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do a good job at this, like
mhm,
regardless of how many books that I read, because I care a lot and I learn fast. And while I think that's broadly true, it makes logical sense, but it was very surprising to me to realize that your baby is basically a loud potato that poops at you for the first 2 months. And so like right now, the baby has like, it's either sleeping, he's either sleeping or he's screaming for food, or now he's starting to get kind of some like quiet consciousness. Like he loves looking out the window, takes after me.
Mm.
But like there isn't a like coochie coochie coo, and then he smiles and laughs back at us yet.
Mhm.
And that is crazy demoralizing. Because like, you're up, 2 a.m. to 9 a.m. back and forth. And throughout none of that do you get any type of like visual or like auditory response stimuli other than the baby stops crying.
Mhm.
And like, I don't know. I feel like somebody should have pulled me aside at some point and been like, hey, dude, you're really, really good at reward feedback systems and meritocracies like that. Just so you know, you don't get any of that for months.
So when does the baby usually first give you something to work with?
Uh, so they start learning like what smiles and stuff are. I actually don't know if it's a physiological process or like an emotional education process, to be
Mhm.
honest.
I
Um,
suspect it's actually a learned thing, because those like children who are sadly left to feral situations. I don't think they know how to smile.
yeah, like and there's a bunch of studies I think about if you don't smile at babies, they die at higher rates, which is
Mhm.
crazy.
Mhm.
Um,
You better be smiling.
Yeah. The I appreciate that chat. The kids definitely have needs. It's not. Sam says it's
Oh, it sounds as a
physiological.
physiological thing.
I mean, Sam, you would know better than me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but it's like 6-ish weeks. Like if I'm being honest,
Mhm.
I think he's starting to learn how to smile, but it's like
Mhm.
I don't know, it's kind of like a dumb baby bird face. Like we do something that I think would indicate a smile, and then he does like a
But okay, it's because I've seen photos of Teddy. I have to
yeah.
say that he has facial expressions that indicate living like 1,000 lives before or something. He doesn't
Oh
have like
yeah.
normal baby expressions.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't I'm not a student of baby faces, but
He has like wise old people expressions for some reason.
I don't know. I kind of feel bad. I feel like I might have cursed him with eternal knowledge.
I think so too.
Because you know me, I like forlornly look off into the wilderness and he
Exactly.
has that look.
Yeah. That's why I was like, well, definitely your child. It's
Yeah.
pretty much a mini Cameron.
Yeah. And so hopefully he's less depressed. But
Mhm.
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean
Um,
the interesting part is going to be like no shade on my parents. They just lived a different upbringing and have a different worldview than me.
mhm.
And like I grew up emo kid, very we'll say emotional. I had a lot of big feelings and I expressed them in some healthy but mostly unhealthy ways. I wonder what it's gonna be like because if he's that package too, responding to that with like, dude, I get it. Because I never got that.
Mm.
It's not their fault because they didn't and don't get it.
Mhm.
But I like to think that I will. He's not going to understand that I get it. He's going to think that I don't get it.
Of course.
But the like reaching out effort will be there, and the space to feel big feelings will be there. So I'm interested. I actually think I'm going to be a lot better conscious baby, like conscious child parent than I am
Mhm.
like he's conscious. He's a human. Blah blah blah. But like he doesn't speak in sentences. I think when like I have someone to speak in sentences with,
Mhm.
I'll feel like I'm doing a better job, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm sure Chad will agree. I'm sure you're already doing a great job.
I'm surviving. Marissa's the hero here. A lot more patient. We realized very quickly that I'm very very capable of operating when I'm very very tired.
Mhm.
It's much harder for me to be nice when I'm very tired,
Mhm.
and which is normal. But the problem is all of the things that I've ever done really, really tired, I didn't have to be nice because I could just tell the other grown man that was being a fuckhead, like, hey, quit being a fuckhead. And
Mhm.
then, we walk 20 miles or whatever at 2 a.m. I can still do that, but with a baby, you can't be like, "Hey, shut up, let me change your diaper," because that's not how that works.
I mean, you can try, but I don't think it will work.
I mean, I'm no.
Yeah.
Bro's strong too, man. Like he's gonna like knock the wind out of me with his kicks very soon.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, like
Didn't he kick poo in your face?
yeah. So I had to reposition our diaper setup because he just like kicked the dirty diaper spot and just the crazy thing about babies that like people joke about but they don't come out and tell you is like
Mhm.
a baby will look at you dead in the face, stoic as Marcus Aurelius, and
Mhm.
then poop in your hand. No,
Mhm.
nobody tells you that. Um, like you can kind of deduce it, but like nobody puts it that way, and so you can
Mm.
expect a lot of casts in that vein
Yes, yes.
coming
Now you're
soon.
finally you're officially a dad caster now.
Yeah, yeah.
They need to
The
welcome you with open arms and give you a blue hat or whatever it is.
Tori, he's already doing like push-ups. Like
What?
this, he because like they don't have any neck strength,
Mhm.
and so like they just like whip their head around, and so like Teddy's already like a salmon, like tried to flop off of every surface he's ever been on, and so
Uh,
dude, he's gonna be a handful, and which is fair. I deserve it. I was a rough teenager, dude.
well, we'll see what the newest evolution of teenage years would be.
Yeah, man. But I'm excited. Like it's a lot of work. Honestly, the hard part isn't taking care of him, although that's hard.
Mhm.
The hard part is trying to feel like the parts of yourself that you liked are
Mhm.
still there
Mm.
because I can't work as much as I did. I can't, like turn my brain off to focus on something else because he needs someone to take care of him. And so
Mhm.
it's going to be a real process to figure out how I can continue with the practice of all the stuff that I want to do,
Mhm.
while also not sacrificing on the kind of parent that I want to be. And that's really hard. And I frankly don't think that is really talked about that much. Maybe it is, and I just haven't found the media for it. But I haven't come across it in my consumption of stuff.
Well, chat if you know any good resources.
I mean, I don't got time to watch anything. I just got to write. Like I think like the big demarcation line of having a baby is
Mhm.
I can't I can't consume the same amount that I previously did and also accomplish the things that I want to do. So in a way, it might force me to develop my own voice in these different media formats just because I can't consume other people's stuff at the same rate.
Well, that's fantastic because I feel like lately, as I scroll through things that make me regret my actions, I feel like wow, yeah. The more I consume this stuff, the more like
Generic you get.
yeah, yeah. And I feel like there literally is a like dumbing down of material now, which I think I understand why. It's because, on the other one hand, it's because everything's more global, right? Because everyone sees the same stuff, and like
Yep.
Mr. Beast says, it's like if you want stuff to take off, you should do things with no dialogue,
Yeah.
because that's the only thing everybody in the world
It's
can
universal.
consume.
So,
Yeah. So I feel like in that sense, it is a little idiocracy like sometimes. And again, like I think we should have materials for all levels, but I feel for me to serve the world, I need to be able to come up with original things and also to work at a certain intellectual level.
yeah. There's definitely a tension between what is the tension? It's between like reach and standards.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that's self standard or what, but like I don't know. The fortune cookie tweet, insult is truer than ever.
Mhm.
But I kind of think I change on the day. Sometimes I'm like, okay, we're cooked. It's done. Meta is coming out with the AI slop trough feed of just AI short form videos that
Mhm.
are meaningless for people that want no meaning, and it's just like straight up, the infinite. I mean, it is the infinite jest samizdat, like hold you hostage with your dopamine receptors. So sometimes I think that, and then other times I'm like, okay, this is kind of a reversion to the mean, and then people will rebel against that reversion with what they want to see, consume, and think about, because we live through a period of turmoil where everyone consumes fucking garbage. And so, we'll see. I am excited to pursue the things that I want to pursue. I think they have inherent value because I think that they're valuable. And, I'd like other people to find that too. And of course, I want to make money. But the point is the process of doing stuff.
Mhm.
And if you're doing stuff you don't like, as someone, I think Push pointed out earlier in the chat, like if you spend 95% of your life to facilitate 5% of enjoyment, it's probably a bad ratio. And
Mhm.
so I don't know. I'm gonna write stuff that I like and think is high quality, and try not to get brought down by the fortune cookie median trash that I think a lot of people like to eat, the junk food.
Oh yeah, and then I made you send me some that poems that you think are bad. Okay, so I was trying to articulate because I was telling you that I don't have that level of appreciation of poetry as much as you do.
Yeah.
It's not a format that I expose myself a lot to. So
Yeah.
I was like, can you just send me some things that you think are like definitely not good so that I would know what is not good because I don't even have a taste for it. And then when you sent me that poem, I was like, well, I can see why it's not good in the sense that it's almost like those chicken soup for the soul kind of books, which,
Yeah.
I read a lot of. I'm not like, dissing them, but there's a time and place for them, but I wouldn't call them like good poetry. So I guess there's no like distinct voice like that makes it not good. It's almost like a prose that is formatted like a poem, but it's more like a very trite short story situation.
Yeah, so I'm not the end all be all of deciding what's good poetry or not. Like I
Mhm,
have opinions because I've read a lot, and I think that there's something unique about
mhm,
people that communicate an opinion via a style that they've deliberately tried to make,
mhm,
or through their like cumulative experience of living in the world, they end up sounding like.
mhm,
I think what people really like is the LinkedInification of feelings,
mhm.
because it's really easy to understand. And so we talk about feeding people like a baby bird,
Yeah, yeah.
and like I think some really really good poems are inaccessible to
Mhm,
some people without having thought about how they feel about things before. And so that means less people can like a complex poem, or and it doesn't mean like super long or like the Odyssey or
mhm,
whatever, but most of my poems that I write are very short, and I
mhm,
try to fit as much energy and emotion and feeling and like emotive force into, the 4 lines or 12 lines or whatever that I put on there. And
mhm,
like if you look at anything that I write, any line probably has 2 or 3 different ways that you can read it, and they're all right, because I've
mm.
put that in there as like I'm intentionally trying to make, like as Tori pointed out, I'm intentionally trying to make it dense with a feeling.
So
You can
it's like
also
it's like rap.
it's a what?
It's like rap. Good rap.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying I'm Kendrick Lamar or anything, but like really good rap has double entendres, triple entendre. Like
Mhm,
that's what I'm trying to do with the stuff that I write, because that's how I think and feel about things.
mhm.
And so if somebody, if s- you know, but most people want something to the equivalent of, my relationship with my parents is tough. It's tough because bad things have happened. Doesn't that suck?
Is that too on the nose?
I mean, but that's the equivalent of some stuff that people are like putting out there. And if that
Mhm.
speaks to you, I'm not trying to like take that away from people that are processing that stuff. But like, I don't really want to live in a world where the most basic self understanding of your emotional experience is like profound.
Mhm.
Like that's scary. And frankly, I don't know. It's like if that's where you're at, it's I don't know what experiences you've had in your life or what you've missed in your life to be at that point, but I feel like that's really, you know, you don't always get to choose what you go through. But I think people deserve a little bit more like nuanced and complexity with their like emotional lives.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like the difference between it's not always along age lines, but like if you talk to a sharecropper from the Great Depression,
Mhm.
they don't have the same emotional range as somebody that grew up today, and that's because they didn't get exposed to the variety of things. Like the reason why,
Well, I feel like what you just said was a little controversial.
I mean, like
I
it
feel like we don't
the
know that. We don't know that.
okay, so I'll grant like they don't have the tools to process it because the language didn't exist of like, hey, you've had trauma. Let's like think about how that's affected you. Like I think that isn't like it's not their fault, but it is like the world that they grew up in. Just like the world that I grew up in, said that I should call bad things gay. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so like that's not how I am now. But like take me in 2002, I'm going to have like a specific emotional framework that I process the world.
Mhm.
And the framework that I process the world through is not that framework anymore.
Mhm.
And so like, and that's what I'm trying to communicate with the stuff that I write. And I'm trying to maybe help other people see stuff that they haven't really thought about before, or hold up to a mirror to their own like grief or joy or outside or whatever that they haven't looked at before. But mostly I just got to write this stuff so I don't go insane.
Mm.
But I do think that like this is a controversial opinion that I have that I'm not afraid to share. Like growing up with the internet means you have more of a responsibility to better yourself in terms of like emotions and empathy.
Oh, that's not controversial.
I think it's very controversial. Like I don't like people don't do it. Like the moral authority that people have and project on other people does not involve this self-work of, oh, I lived through some stuff that probably wasn't my fault, but it is
Mhm.
still my responsibility to process it in a way that doesn't of like lead to permanent harming of other people, which is like people
Well,
passing on trauma to their
okay, how
kids.
about this? I don't think it's controversial here, but yes,
Oh yeah.
broadly it is might be controversial now.
I mean
But it's
this
also like in a way where this isn't even at the level of perception for a lot of people or accessibility. So
yeah.
it's so they can't even actively reject it. It's not even on the same level, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we could save this for another show, because I got to get back to taking care of a baby. But
Yeah.
we've talked about like we talk about Democrat stuff, we talk about left leaning stuff in like sometimes complimentary, most of the time in a critical way because it's mostly our community that we want to be better. Um, I think the crisis of meaning that people talk about is much more of a crisis of a coherent worldview,
Mhm.
which right leaning spaces typically have through the moral authority of religion.
Mhm.
And so like the hyper pivot into, whatever the flavor of like wokeism is at that time
Mhm.
is really a scrabbling at a lack of footholds for like what is good and what is bad.
Mhm.
So like when in doubt, you just go harder, left for lack of a better phrasing. And I think that we can fix that actually. Celine, you're exactly right. There are a lot more things to weaponize now, which is good and bad because we have more weapons to fight back against. Uh, Kristen, you got anything else you want to get into?
Well, I wanted to ask how can we fix that, but I think that will be a good other episode.
Yeah. I mean,
Seems like a long topic.
the short answer is you just decide and then update as you learn more things.
Overly simplistic, but that's okay.
Okay. We're at the 30,000 foot view, like at our perpetual conflict, and then we can get down to the 100-foot view if we want.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much all for joining us. Even Celine. Sorry, we're leaving you.
Thanks for dropping in. We appreciate you, and we'll be back next week. Well, we're back to our regularly scheduled programming, and keep an eye out for other stuff from OK Banger too. We can't get too crazy, but I think there's going to be some fun stuff coming.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.